Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Martyrs' Day today being observed throughout the country by remembering those who sacrificed their lives for the country and the people. People complain of political selfishness devaluating the martyrs. Work procedure ready to provide new entrepreneurs loans without collateral. Entrepreneurs accuse the government of not understanding the concept of startup. Pakistan and Iran agree to respect each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity and expand security cooperation. Bid to amend ties after tit-for-tat missile strikes. And hosts Ivory Coast eliminate reigning champion Senegal 5-4 in a penalty shootout to reach the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals. Cape Verde also in the last 8, blanking Mauritania 1-0. Martyrs' Day is being observed across the country today on Magh 16th as per the Nepali calendar by remembering those who sacrificed their lives for the nation and the people. Various programs are being organized today on the occasion of Martyrs' Day to remember the martyrs who sacrificed their lives to establish and re-establish democracy and fought for freedom during various periods of political movements. The Martyrs' Week is observed every year from 10th to 16th of Magh to remember the sacrifices of the martyrs against the autocratic rule of the Ranas. When democracy was demanded, the Rana regime had ordered the deaths of Sukraraj Shastri at the capital's Pachali in Teku on January 23, 1941, Dharmabhakta Matema at Sifal on 26th of January the same year, and Gangalal Shrestha and Dasrat Chand at Soa Bhagwati on 28th of January the same year. Magh 16th has been observed as Martyrs' Day since the then Kathmandu metropolis started to celebrate it from 1956. On the occasion of Martyrs' Day, a morning rally was held from the capital's Santi Batika Ratna Park to Martyrs' Memorial at Lainchor. Speaking at the event at Martyrs' Memorial in Lainchor this morning, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal said the dreams of the martyrs have to be fulfilled. The government has prepared a work procedure for startup to provide new entrepreneurs loans without collateral. However, the new entrepreneurs have accused the government of preparing the work procedure without understanding its concept. Individuals with new ideas of starting a business have to give up their dream due to the lack of money for investment. It has been 9 years since the government announced of investing in such projects. Since then, investment in such projects was announced in every budget. However, startups or new entrepreneurs were not able to receive money to invest due to the lack of a work procedure. The work procedure was finally prepared last year and around 400 individuals registered their application to receive amount. However, the new budget was introduced without implementing the work procedure. This year, the government is making efforts to implement the work procedure by mid-February. According to the work procedure prepared by the government, startups can receive loans without collateral in the agriculture and livestock, tourism promotion, entertainment technology sectors, as well as in information and communications sector. Projects under health, education, transportation, food production and processing, garbage management, as well as innovative energy and innovative technology also fall under startups. However, new entrepreneurs have complained that provisions of not having investment of more than 1 million rupees, annual transactions of not exceeding 20 million rupees, and business operation not exceeding 7 years are impractical. The government has set aside 1.25 billion rupees for startups. Although the government has demanded applications from startups on 2 previous occasions, it has not provided amounts to them. The new entrepreneurs are not sure if the government would provide them the amount for investment this year either. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What should be done to encourage new entrepreneurs? Your options are A, implementation of government policies, B, special concessions on loans, and C, arrangement of skilled manpower. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The probe committee to investigate the sale of shares of telecommunications service provider Ncell submitted its report to Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal yesterday, saying that the sale was illegal and advised the government not to accept the agreement as is on the sale of shares. A meeting of the Council of Ministers held on 7th of December last month had formed a 5-member committee headed by former Auditor General Thankamani Sharma. The government formed the probe committee after questions were raised on the authority of Malaysian telecommunications company Axiata selling 80% of its shares to Spectralite company registered in the United Kingdom. In the report presented by the committee to Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal yesterday, it has mentioned that the agreement reached between Nepal-based Ncell Axiata Limited and United Kingdom's Spectralite company cannot be regarded as being done in a free manner and has claimed that the terms of the agreement have not been reached as per market price. Talking to media after handing the report to the Prime Minister, coordinator of the committee, Thankamani Sharma, said that suggestions have been given to the government for the benefit of the country. Sharma informed that suggestion was given to put terms in the agreement so that Ncell would come under the ownership of Nepal after 2029. The committee has said that application for the sale of shares has not been registered at the government institution yet and concluded that the purchaser's technical and financial capacity was not strong. The committee also mentioned that Axiata's notice issued on December 1, 2023, accusing Nepal's economic environment was not conducive, was baseless. According to the committee, Ncell has so far turned in 302 billion rupees in taxes and non-taxable revenue. The committee also informed that Ncell has 80 million rupees in foreign investment and 20 million rupees in domestic investment and has made more than 100 billion rupees in profit and taken more than 60 billion rupees out of the country. After receiving the report, Prime Minister Dahal assured that a correct decision would be taken after study. It's now time for the international updates. Pakistan and Iran yesterday said that they respected each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity and would expand security cooperation, bidding to mend ties after tit-for-tat missile strikes at what they said were militant targets. The foreign ministers of the two countries held talks in the Pakistani capital days after their military moves earlier in January raised concerns about wider instability in the region since the war between Israel and Hamas erupted on 7th of October. Pakistan's caretaker foreign minister Jalil Abbas Jalani, speaking at a joint news conference with his Iranian counterpart Hossein Amir Abdullahian, said the neighbors had several strong channels of communication with each other. Jilani said the two countries also agreed to fight terrorism in their respective areas and establish a system of consultations at the level of the foreign ministers to oversee progress across sectors. Abdullahian said the two countries had a good understanding and that there have never been territorial differences or wars between Iran and Pakistan. Abdullahian added that Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi would soon visit Pakistan. Relations between the two countries had soured after the missile strikes, with Pakistan recalling its ambassador to Tehran and not allowing his counterpart to return to Islamabad, as well as cancelling all high-level diplomatic and trade engagements. After efforts were swiftly made to lower the temperature, with the envoys asked to return to their posts and Abdullahian invited for talks. The two Muslim nations have had a history of rocky relations, but the missile strikes were the most serious incidents in years. The United States Defense Department, Pentagon, said it is not seeking war with Iran after the Jordan attack. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin yesterday vowed the U.S. would take all necessary actions to defend its troops after a deadly drone attack in Jordan by Iran-backed militants, even as President Joe Biden's administration stressed it was not seeking a war with Iran. The attack on Sunday killed 3 U.S. soldiers and wounded more than 40 troops. It was the first deadly strike against U.S. troops since the Israel-Hamas war erupted in October and marks a major escalation in tensions that have engulfed the Middle East. Austin added, at the start of the meeting with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, at the Pentagon that the U.S. would tolerate attacks on its forces and would take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and its troops. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken reiterated President Biden's position on America's response and that response could be multi-leveled, come in stages, and be sustained over time. But officials across the Biden administration said they did not want the situation to escalate. U.S. troops have been attacked over 160 times in Iraq, Syria, and Jordan since 7th of October, and warships have been attacked in the Red Sea as well. Houthi fighters in Yemen have been firing drones and missiles at them on the Red Sea. Israel's military yesterday said it will keep pressure on the city of Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip, which for weeks has been the focus of Israel's offensive, and said it has killed more than 2,000 Palestinian militants there. Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, the military spokesperson, said Israeli forces have so far dismantled 2 of 4 Hamas battalions around the densely populated city, which operated above ground and from within dozens of kilometers of underground tunnels. Hagari told reporters they are continuing the attack in the area of Khan Yunis as they have more operational missions to dismantle the military frameworks of the rest of the Hamas battalions. He said in all of Khan Yunis, they have eliminated more than 2,000 terrorists above and beneath the ground and destroyed significant underground infrastructure in which facilities for holding hostages, command centers, weapons production facilities, and intelligence materials were found. Hagari said that in the past week, more than 300 suspected militants there were detained and taken for questioning. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador yesterday said closing borders was demagogic amid a possible deal in the U.S. that could see the country's northern neighbor close the shared border in special circumstances. U.S. President Joe Biden said on Friday that a border deal being negotiated in the U.S. Senate was the toughest and fairest set of reforms possible and promised to close the border when it is breached. President Biden, who is seeking another term in the November 5th elections, has faced a record number of migrants detained while illegally crossing the border during his presidency, while Republicans argue that he should have maintained the restrictive policies of former President Donald Trump, the front-runner for the party's nomination. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.